The House will be in order. We will now proceed with the election of Speaker. The Chair recognizes the representative from Cedar, Representative Kaufman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House. Mr. Speaker, I wish to place the nomination the Honorable Pat Grassley of Butler County as Speaker. Representative Grassley began his ascent in the House as Economic Development Chair before he became Chair of the Agricultural Committee, and then finally the Appropriations Committee before his speakership. I think it's undeniable he's been one of the most consequential speakers in Iowa history, leading many legislative accomplishments and presiding over the 20, 22, and 24 elections, making Republicans in the House represent all 99 counties. My only complaint, Mr. Speaker, it's been 6 years of us going out to supper, and somehow he still always manages to forget his wallet. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Chair recognizes Representative Konfrst of Polk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to second the nomination of Pat Grassley of Butler County as Speaker. As Minority Leader in the past few years, I've had the honor of working with Speaker Grassley and value the open communication that he has provided, and also appreciate the fact that as someone who was once in the minority, he recognizes the importance and the need of bipartisan collaboration and work together. I do have another complaint. I have never been invited to dinner, and so I look forward to that this session. Thank you very much. I move that the Chief Clerk be authorized to cast the votes of all the members of the House of Representatives at the 91st General Assembly for the Honorable Pat Grassley as Speaker.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. And the Honorable Pat Grassley of Butler County, having received all the votes cast for the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives of the 91st General Assembly, is hereby elected the office of Speaker. The Chair recognizes Representative Kaufman of Cedar.
Mr. Speaker, I move that a committee of 2 be appointed to escort the Honorable Pat Grassley to the Speaker's station.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor of the motion shall say aye. Aye. All those opposed shall say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The Chair appoints Representative Kaufman of Cedar, Representative Konfrst of Polk as a committee of 2 to escort the Honorable Pat Grassley to the Speaker's chair. Senator Chuck Grassley will administer the oath of office.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of your office to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do. Go ahead. You may be seated. It'd be kind of fun to watch you have to stand, but Representative Kaufman, Representative Konfrst, I would love to take you out to dinner at some point in time to pay. If the Senate would pass our pay increase, maybe I could afford to do that. So, Bubba liked that one. Well, we've reached that time of year again. Just want to welcome everyone back to this magnificent Capitol and this House for the 2025 legislative session. As today marks the start of a new General Assembly, we also welcome 16 new members to the Iowa House of Representatives. To all of you, congratulations. It's a brave thing to put your name on the ballot. When I did it for the first time, someone said to me, The good news is you might win, and the bad news is you might also win. I say that kind of as a joke, and I've noticed a lot of enthusiasm from a lot of the new members around here, and you'll quickly realize that joke will be funnier here soon. For many of us, that means sacrifices from our families. There's a lot of families here today, and thank you all for allowing your loved one to come down here and do this service. As you all know, this is not easy. A couple specific shout outs. As you've seen my 3 kids come up here, Reagan loves to do the prayer. And Reagan, we're still on the path for the first female president for you here, so we'll keep that up. Keep your arm up at volleyball when I'm not there. Indy's in college now, and she's kind of cute, so I'm a little nervous about that. So just behave. And Chance, losing is not okay. We know that, but we got to keep our temper under control, and we do. Thank you for allowing me to serve, and all those times when Dad can't be there. To my mom, my dad, and Holly, thanks for stepping up on the farm and at home when I'm not there. As you all know, my dad is a great job of being a farm manager, and even though his checkbook's a lot bigger, I think I am in charge. And Grandpa, thank you for being here today. It's always an honor to have this opportunity to share with you and take the time out of your busy schedule to be here. It's been an honor to be elected by this body to serve as your speaker, but it makes it even more special that you're able to be here, so thank you. For all the representatives, whether new or returning, we've had just enough time to recover from the slog of the campaign trail and are ready to hit the ground running to meet this moment where it is. The results of the election, both here in Iowa and nationally, served as a wake-up call for many. Iowa House Republicans woke up a while ago, and as we listened to Iowans, we were confident in our agenda. When Iowans told us they needed more money in their pocket, we lowered their taxes. When Iowans told us they weren't satisfied with the education system, they wanted more choice, we gave them educational choice. And when Iowans told us they wanted to return to common sense on immigration and social issues, we listened. Our opposition did all they could to dismiss these concerns from voters. They chalked them up to being racist, sexist, or any kind of phobic you can come up with. Our bills were characterized as an attack, hateful and divisive. But the reality is that we learned this election that these issues, while emotional, have turned out to be more unifying than ever based on the election results. It seems many in the media or on the other side of the aisle refuse to believe that it is anyone other than the very far right who has been begging us for action on these issues. But we knew that wasn't an accurate reflection of the everyday Iowans we were hearing from. We knew these were real concerns, real issues, real voters. We stayed the course, and today we turn to the 2025 legislative session with an even greater majority of 67 seats, the largest majority since the Iowa House went to 100 seats in 1971. For the 4 years, we have had to use the state legislature to protect Iowa from the terrible policies of the Biden administration. Though I believe the state government, like Iowa, will always be more nimble and quicker to respond than the federal government, I have much more faith in President Trump and his administration to right the ship, or at least stop standing in the way of states like Iowa trying to do the right thing. Now we can be partners in combating illegal immigration instead of having to get creative on how we can go it alone. We will finally have a partner in the federal government to help keep our communities safe. Now, instead of having the federal government block our attempts to prioritize access to healthier foods in Iowa, maybe we can work with the federal government to make sure we're getting healthier foods on Iowans' plates. Now, instead of federal programs treating Iowa the same as states like California, my hope is we will be able to have more flexibility to spend federal funds in the way that best fits Iowans. That is why I created the new committee in the House this year called the Federal and Other Funds Committee. President Trump has expressed a willingness to grant states more flexibility with their federal funds, and I will be one of the leaders in how best to utilize that flexibility. This session, we have one other brand new committee, the Higher Education Committee. In the House, we have done a great job. We have done a great amount of work to refocus our Regents institutions on providing quality education and preparing our workforce. However, a comprehensive review of the entire higher education system is long overdue. Taxpayer investments must be met with taxpayer return. I look forward to this committee's review of how state dollars can best be used to address workforce shortages and also to not enforce ideological agendas. That is not to take anything away from the importance of the K-12 educational system, which is why we have broken these into two very important committees that will be meeting this session. As Iowans felt the pain of the Biden administration 4 years in Washington, inflation served as the top priority, one of the top priority issues that we were facing in this election cycle. It is clear that we need to continue to deliver economic relief for Iowans. In the past, we have delivered income tax cuts to provide direct relief to Iowans. Further reductions were just implemented on January 1st, lowering all taxpayers' income tax rates to 3.8%. While we continue to let those kick in, Iowans have been begging us to shift our focus to property taxes. There will likely be multiple ideas brought forward this session on the best way to address property taxes. For anyone who is interested in delivering real solutions and not just trying to kill everyone else's ideas, I'm all ears. We will do our due diligence and consider each other's ideas. As we do this, I will encourage the Chamber to prioritize one thing: put the shift in priority back on the side of the taxpayer and not from the taxing entities at the local level. This session, we will be looking for additional ways to lower costs for Iowans. We will be exploring options to eliminate sales tax on everyday items for families and lower the cost of child care, energy, and expand affordable housing. Immigration continues to be a top-of-mind issue, especially after this last fall's election results. While I have significantly more confidence in President Trump's administration to secure our borders, we stand ready to partner with the federal government to help tackle the issues however we can. In addition to addressing illegal immigration, we will also continue to keep our communities safe by furthering our efforts to protect our students and staff in schools, properly funding public safety, and root out crimes related to illegal immigration like drugs and human trafficking. And one final point, I think we can all get behind. Every child in Iowa deserves a bright opportunity and a bright future. This session, we will ensure that Iowa laws are protecting our youth and setting them up for success. We know the dangers of smartphones and social media. It's time for us to take a look and take action. This can include limiting cell phone use during instructional time and putting parents back in the driver's seat of their children's social media accounts. We must also make sure that we are supporting kids born into tough situations. A comprehensive look at improving our foster care system and adoption system must be a priority. We must remove the barriers currently preventing a child from finding a loving home. A strong education system will also set our children up for success. It is inaccurate to suggest that we cannot support both public and private education. We must continue to properly fund education and ensure our schools are sticking to the core subjects like math, science, reading, and history, and staying away from social issues. Now, that's enough for me. It's time to roll up our sleeves and get back to work, and I'm truly honored to continue to serve in the role as Speaker of the Iowa House. Thank you. Chair recognizes Representative Windschitl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the House. Mr. Speaker, I move that Megan Nelson be elected permanent Chief Clerk.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor shall say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. And Megan Nelson is duly elected Chief Clerk. The Chair recognizes Representative Thompson of Wright.
Mr. Speaker, I move that a committee of 3 be appointed to notify the Governor that the House is duly organized and ready to receive communication she might desire to transmit.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor shall say aye. Aye. All those opposed will say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. And the Chair appoints as such committee Representative Thompson of Wright, Representative Bossman of Woodbury, Representative Levin of Johnson. The committee will proceed in the performance of its duty. Chair recognizes Representative Moore of Cass.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that a committee of 3 be appointed to notify the Senate that the House is duly organized and ready to receive any communication it might desire to transmit.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor shall say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. And the Chair appoints to such committee Representative Moore of Cass, Representative Latham of Franklin, and Representative Cooling of Lynn. The committee will proceed in the performance of its duty. Chair recognizes Representative Windschitl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent for the immediate consideration of House Concurrent Resolution 1.
Representative Windschitl asks unanimous consent for immediate consideration of House Concurrent Resolution 1. Are there objections? Hearing none, the clerk will read.
House Concurrent Resolution 1 by Grassley and Konfrst, a concurrent resolution to provide a joint convention for the condition of the state address.
Chair recognizes Representative Windschitl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move the adoption of House Concurrent Resolution 1.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor shall say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and the motion prevails, and the resolution is adopted. The chair recognizes Representative Windschitl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent for the immediate consideration of House Concurrent Resolution 2.
Representative Windschitl has asked unanimous consent for immediate consideration of House Concurrent Resolution 2. Are there objections? Chair hears none. The clerk will read.
House Concurrent Resolution 2 by Grassley and Konfrst, a concurrent resolution to provide for a joint convention for the state of the judiciary address.
Chair recognizes Representative Windschitl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the adoption of House Concurrent Resolution 2.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor shall say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The motion prevails, and the resolution is adopted. Chair recognizes Representative Windschitl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent for the immediate consideration of House Concurrent Resolution 3.
Representative Windschitl of Harrison asks for unanimous consent for immediate consideration of House Concurrent Resolution 3. Are there objections? Hearing none, the clerk will read.
House Concurrent Resolution 3 by Grassley and Konfrst, a concurrent resolution to provide for a joint convention for the condition of the National Guard.
Chair recognizes Representative Windschitl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the adoption of House Concurrent Resolution 3.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor shall say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The motion prevails, and the resolution is adopted. Chair recognizes Representative Windschitl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to immediately message House Concurrent Resolutions 1, 2, and 3 to the Senate.
Are there objections? Chair hears none. So ordered. Chair recognizes Representative Bloomingdale of Worth.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to place a nomination in the name of John H. Wills of Dickinson County for the office of Speaker Pro Tem.
Keep him on.
Most of you have known John a while. John has been an excellent leader, as he's demonstrated already, and I look forward to working with John again and think he will do a great job as Speaker Pro Tem.
Chair recognizes Representative Meyer of Polk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to second the nomination of John H. Wills of Dickinson County for the office of Speaker Pro Tempore. Mr. Speaker, I move that the Chief Clerk be directed to cast the votes of all of the members of the House of Representatives for the Honorable John H. Wills of Dickinson County for Speaker Pro Tempore.
You have all heard the motion. All those in favor shall say aye. Aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. And the Honorable John H. Wills of Dickinson County, having received all votes cast for office of Speaker Pro Tempore of the 91st General Assembly, is hereby elected for this office. The chair recognizes Representative Bloomingdale.
Mr. Speaker, I move that a committee of 2 be appointed to escort the Honorable John H. Wills to the Speaker's station.
You have all heard the motion. All those in favor shall say aye. Aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and the chair appoints to such committee Representative Bloomingdale of Worth, Representative Meyer of Polk, as the committee of two to escort the Honorable John H. Wills to the Speaker's station. Do you gavel or not? Do you gavel? All right. Snuck up on me. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of your office to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations, John. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, I thought long and hard how I was going to start out today. And, you know, being a Vikings fan for 50 years, the best way I thought of to start out is just to say, Skol Vikings. You know, I've thought about Skol a lot, and it's a very invigorating and a cheer that the Vikings do whenever they start a game or when they do something good. And so I just wanted to really kind of concentrate on Skol for just a few times. And also somebody bet me that I couldn't say Skol when I was doing my speech today. And so I just did it. They said I couldn't do it 3 times. I just did it 3 times. It's just for good measure. I'm going to say Skol one last time. And then I definitely have 3 times done. Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, good morning. I want to thank you for your willingness to serve here in this body. It is an honor to serve with you in the chamber. It is an even greater honor to serve with you as your Speaker Pro Tem. Furthermore, I'd be remiss to say if I didn't thank the constituents back at home in House District 10. I'm grateful for their faith in me, for having sent me here to this body to represent their values. While I'm thanking everyone, I want to thank my wife, Cammie. She helped to swear me in this morning. And my family, our family, because everybody that's been here for a while knows that we don't just come here and serve by ourselves. We're supported by a family as well. And that family has, we miss events. We miss things that have broken down. We miss all kinds of things. So it's a sacrifice that not just we, the legislators make, but our families make as well. So I just want to make sure that I give a huge thank you from me to my wife and my family. This is an esteemed body, and as such, we'll maintain a civil discourse here during our time together. If you get out of hand and violate our rules, then you must know that you'll be called out for it. We will maintain honor and integrity in this body. Once we are elected, we attain the title of honorable. And this is the way that we're going to act in this chamber. So be honorable in what you do and how you act in this chamber. With the campaign of 2024 behind us, it is our duty to bring together what we have learned on the campaign trail to do the will of the Iowans that elected us to be here. Each of us in this chamber have different priorities and desires. Each of us have things that we want to accomplish. I look forward to working with each of you as we try to accomplish those things, those priorities that Iowans and each of our constituents want from us. In the end, there's going to be areas that we disagree with each other on. And we'll be zealous in the defense of those values. But we'll also find that we agree a lot more than we disagree. In fact, about 92% of the time, there will be bipartisan legislation that is passed in this chamber. Simply put, we must accept that we will not get everything that we want in the legislation in this body. But we can work towards that. My goal as a legislator is to wisely spend the taxpayer's dollar, provide efficiency of government services, and advance freedoms and liberties from the Bill of Rights to life and everything in between, and ensure our government works for the people and not the other way around. My goal as your Speaker pro tempore is to be fair, judicial, and efficient in operating this chamber while I'm presiding. May God bless each of you in the great state of Iowa. With that said, let's get to work on a great and productive legislative session to ensure that Iowa becomes stronger in all the ways that Iowa citizens become freer with God-given liberties and freedoms. And Skol. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Windschitl.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the assignment of seats to the members of the House be made a special order for this afternoon at 2 p.m.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor shall say aye. Aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and the motion prevails. Chair recognizes Representative Windschitl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent for the immediate consideration of House Resolution 1.
Are there objections to the immediate consideration of House Resolution 1? Chair hears none. The clerk will read.
House Resolution by Segrest, House Resolution 1 by Segrest, a resolution for the selection and appointment of secretaries and pages.
Chair recognizes Representative Segrist of Potawatomi.
Mr. Speaker, I move the adoption of House Resolution Number 1.
You have all heard the motion. All those in favor shall say aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and the resolution is adopted. The chair recognizes Representative Windschitl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent for the immediate consideration of House Resolution 2.
Are there objections to the immediate consideration of House Resolution 2? Hearing none, the clerk will read.
House Resolution 2 by Segrest, a resolution to arrange for the opening of session with prayer.
Chair recognizes Representative Segrist.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move adoption of House Resolution 2.
You have all heard the motion. All those in favor shall say aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and the resolution is adopted. Chair recognizes Representative Momsen of Clinton.
Mr. Speaker, I move that a committee of 3 be appointed to determine the amount of mileage due each member and report the same to the House.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor shall say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The chair appoints as such committee Representative Momsen of Clinton, Representative Sexton of Calhoun, and Representative Mattson of Polk. The chair recognizes Representative Segrist of Potawatomi.
Mr. Speaker, I move the permanent rules of the House and provisions for compensation of employees adopted by the 90th General Assembly be the temporary rules and temporary compensation provisions for the 91st General Assembly.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor shall say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The motion prevails. Chair recognizes Sergeant at Arms.
Mr. Speaker, the committee to notify the Senate has returned and is ready to report.
Chair recognizes Representative Moore of Cass.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the committee to notify the Senate that the House is duly organized and ready to receive any communications they may desire to transmit has performed its duty.
The report is received and the committee is discharged. Thank you, Representative Moore. Chair recognizes Sergeant at Arms.
Mr. Speaker, the committee to notify the governor has returned and is ready to report.
Chair recognizes Representative Thompson of Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The committee to notify the governor that the House is duly organized and ready to receive any communication she may desire to transmit has performed its duty.
The report is received and the committee is discharged. Thank you. We're going to conference, correct? At this time, we will have remarks from Representative Konfrst. Go ahead, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the House. I'm honored to have this opportunity to address you. And if we're talking sports, I would like to say go Irish. Thank you very much. Okay. Monday. Beat Ohio. Okay. I want to thank my colleagues. I want to thank my Democratic colleagues for entrusting me with leadership of this caucus. It's an honor and a privilege, and I look forward to doing so again this session. I want to thank my family because I always forget to, and so I brought my husband to remember. As everyone else has said, this is a difficult job, and if anyone here has heard me vent or have thoughts, he has heard them much louder, I guarantee it. And so we are grateful to him. He has the honor of getting me home every night, and so things are a little more fresh sometimes. So we appreciate him and my children who have chosen to leave the state so they don't have to hear it anymore. I also want to welcome the new members to the chamber on both sides of the aisle. There are going to be moments when you are frustrated. There are going to be moments when this is not what you expected. And I'm just going to encourage you to look up. In whatever room you're in, look up. Remember the beautiful building we're in. Remember the amazing work that can get done here. Remember that we are temporary guardians of this chamber that has been here before us and will be here after us. And we worked so hard to get here, and it means a lot to us. So when you're down, when you're discouraged, look up and remember where we are, because it's pretty cool that we get to do this. We are about to embark on a 110-day journey to make Iowa a little better for Iowans. Every person in this room loves and cares about our state. We have that in common. Let's let that be our uniting force. Before us, we have a choice. How are we going to spend those 110 days? Can we work together to make life better for all Iowans, or will the session be spent playing politics? Too many families are feeling the pinch of rising health care, child care costs, stagnant wages, and a growing fear of more layoffs around the state. The Reynolds economy has made Iowa second to last in growth, so we need to think more broadly. Iowans expect us to help. They expect us to ease their burden. Will we work together to make life better, or will division rule the day? Frankly, I don't have a lot of confidence already this morning. I hope we can do better. Will we see each other as caricatures or colleagues? Will we find solutions or search for headlines? Will we listen to Washington or Iowans? Iowa House Democrats are proud to represent more than 1 million Iowans, and indirectly we represent each and every Iowan too. They deserve a seat at the table, and we will work to ensure that they have it. We are laser focused on lowering costs for Iowa families, and we know that that's going to take a lot of different proposals. There is not a one-size-fits-all solution, and we need to look out for every Iowan in this state, not just those who are at the top. We are looking at childcare, housing, health care, mental health. And so at the end of the session, when we're giving these speeches again, when we're a little more tired and a little less refreshed, and hopefully it won't be at 2 in the morning, will we be able to say Iowans will have extra money in their pockets at the end of session than they have now? Will we be able to say that every Iowan will have money in their pockets that they didn't have before? Will they feel more secure about their jobs? Will Iowa be a more welcoming place where people want to live? Will Iowa finally have health care that is affordable to those who need it? Will kids have great schools, no matter where they live or who they are or how they learn? Will childcare be more affordable than it is today? Friends, we have been talking about this for a long time. I haven't heard one constituent who said childcare is cheaper. So let's make that a goal this year to not just talk about it, but fix it. Will everyday Iowans sit down at their kitchen table, like we all have to do, and look at their monthly budget and say the state legislature did something to help, or we did something to help those who aren't in the room? Will we do the work to help every Iowan have a little more ease in their pocketbook? Let's remember together who we work for, why we were sent here, and what we are charged with doing. The campaign is over. We, as House Democrats, stand ready to work. Let's do so together. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Windschitl for his opening day remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the House. I feel like kind of an old hat here. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to call you out as well. 19 sessions now. 19. For anybody that wants to take the opportunity to stop by my desk or my office and look at my original badge photo, yes, I look like I was 12 years old, but I honestly was only 22 at the time. The campaign's behind us, and I know all of us worked extremely hard to listen to our constituents from all across the state and take their voices and their concerns and turn that into what is going to become the agenda for the 91st General Assembly. I congratulate all of you, and I thank all of you for the sacrifices that you have made, you, your family, the team that you have behind you. But the campaign is there. Let's not focus on what is behind us. Let us focus on what we can do together moving forward. Are we always going to agree? No. Heck, the Speaker and I joke all the time that we're the odd couple. He and I don't always agree. But we can come together for the betterment of all Iowans. I want to thank not only my constituents from back home for continuing to trust me and be their voice, but I also want to thank my caucus for letting this knuckle-dragging Marine continue to serve as your majority leader. I look forward to working with all of you, not just my colleagues, but everybody in this chamber that's duly elected. We all have a voice that we need to represent from our constituents. And I've seen it happen where we can come together, where this chamber can be a shining example, despite what happens across Rotunda, despite what happens out in Washington, D.C. So I would encourage all of us to do this, whether you're a brand new freshman or you've been here for a long time. One of the things that helps me do my job best for my constituents and all the Iowans that we seek to represent is very simple. Listen. Reach across the aisle. Talk with your fellow legislators. Talk with the folks out in the Rotunda that are down here advocating for their constituency base. The more knowledge you have, the better informed decision you can make. Iowans spoke loud and clear. And I know there was a lot of rhetoric out there saying that things were going to go differently. Well, they didn't. Iowans have approved of the agenda that we have moved through this chamber. They've approved of the agenda that we have moved through this state capitol. And that's why we need to continue to listen to everybody. I've got an open door policy. That goes for my colleagues, and that's not just Republicans. That's also the minority. Please, if we can work together and you've got a good idea, come talk. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Mr. Speaker, it is an honor to serve with you. You have helped lead our caucus through so many different issues, and we have been successful. Leader Konfrst, it's an honor to work with you as well. I look forward to working with both of you as we try and lead going into the 91st General Assembly and making Iowa the best place that it possibly can be for those people that we seek to serve. May God bless all of you. May God bless the great state of Iowa. We got a lot of work ahead. Let's talk it through. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.